Well, it is. Thank you for all love and support. I appreciate it all. Africans, we have a long way to go. We really need to start doing things together if only we want to see this continent moving forward. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have shown us the way to what truly being African is all about. That is unity, working together as people, opening borders and other things for us to be able to move among ourselves freely. The president of Mozambique, Daniel Francisco Chapo, also joined in this call. According to him, it is so bad that Africa, before we can move from one place to the other using flight, we need to move outside of the continent to either Paris or Qatar before we can land in another country in Africa. That this is bad. We really need to connect the airways. At least we have airlines. So why not connect so we can have direct flight from one African country to the other? So that this is a problem to the African, and we really need to solve that. Our leaders have to put things that are of importance first. We have this pressing issue at hand, yet African Union was busy discussing the size of the map on the global stage, when we have to be moving outside of the continent to other places before we can land somewhere. We have Air Burkina, we have Air Ethiopia, we have a lot of things, different flights from different countries to other places. So why can't we link this together so we can be traveling among ourselves direct within the continent instead of us moving outside of the continent?
Here in Africa, we have this challenge of linking our countries through air services. Countries in Africa that for somebody to travel to a neighboring country, first you have to go to Europe to come back to Africa. And sometimes people have to fly to Doha to come back to Africa. So even for us to come here, we had to go first to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to come back to Kigali. We could have traveled through Johannesburg in South Africa to come to Kigali. So I spoke about this yesterday with the President Paul Kagame, that there is a need for us to have this aerial link between Maputo, Kigali, Maputo. Mozambique see Rwanda as an experience in innovation, ICT, digitalization, and modern and urban. We can complement this. Mozambique can offer the energy and other resources. This roundtable, also reminds us that the government can create conditions for both, and we want the Mozambican and Rwandese business people can invest together so that they can create more jobs. Our aim is not only to do trade, but we want to create industries of business people from both countries, so that we can create work jobs, especially for women and for the youth. So we are inviting all of you to see Mozambique as your strategic partner for Southern Africa. We are going to build joint ventures, and we are going to exchange experiences. We are going to expand our cooperation in agriculture, energy, logistics, services, and digitalization. Our vision, it's a partnership where there is a win-win, and where our young people can find work and jobs. Our nations can be stronger in Africa, and in the world. And to conclude, I would like to tell our brothers from Rwanda and the business people from Rwanda and our brothers from Mozambique that we are working day and night, 24 hours, to see if we can revive the projects in the Rovuma Dam because of the terrorism, because we know that we need to recover these projects, and these projects are more than $50 billion, and this money, if we are not prepared as Rwandese or Mozambicans or Africans, or the whole continent, all these resources, we will go back to their origin. Because yesterday I was saying that it's only the logistics and supplies for foodstuff. We have around 20,000 people who will be working in the first phase of this project to feed breakfast, lunch, and dinner to 20,000 people, just to give bread or water or chicken daily during this first phase. It's a lot of money. And we need to prepare ourselves as Africans, as Rwandese or Mozambicans, so that we can also play our role in supplying logistic transport and services to these people, to these projects. Therefore, to conclude, we reaffirm that Mozambique is ready and determined to deepen the economic cooperation with Rwanda. So we trust that the discussions that are going to take place here will develop or to build more jobs, to offer opportunities to both countries. And we can work together for concrete realization, and we can also work and give dignity to our people, and share it responsibility for both countries, and for Africa. Their gastronomy has all this mixture. Mozambique has a mixture of African food, cuisine, African cuisine, Portuguese cuisine, Indian cuisine, and Arabic cuisine. So you can imagine the mix of all these cuisine, what are the flavors that we can offer. So please, you're welcome to sample all our seafood, especially the prawn.
Africans, we need to control the narrative. We should be able to do things within the continent without moving outside of the continent. This is how other people have upper hand on us to treat us the way they want, because with this that is happening, if Qatar or Paris needs something from us and we say no, this is it too. If we should deny them what they demand for, it means that the African cannot move from one African country to the other by air, which is so bad. At least these are things that the African need to work on. We should be able to do things commonly among ourselves. These are pressing issues that African Union need to concentrate on. We need to start linking everything of the African. We need to start solving the internal things that are restricting us from moving freely among ourselves. This is so important. How on earth is this thing done this way? Other people don't need to enter here before they get to where they are. Yet we always need other people before we can do things on our own, which doesn't sound well. What at all do these people sit in their parliaments to discuss? For all these decades, this pressing situation in Africa is here. Yet we are leaving it to be chasing after the size of a map, which doesn't add any value to the African. Our leaders need to start acting right. We need to put our differences aside. This free trade area can be so easy and possible if we have a link of how to move from one place to the other through air, instead of us moving to other continents before we come back into the same continent that we live in. These are the things that we need to prioritize. Anything that is taking us out of the continent needs to be stopped. These are things that we need to first of all look at. How do we move among ourselves freely? How do we do things in common? We can't have free trade area when traveling by air is stressful. Like the man said, he has to go to Ethiopia before you now come to... these things are not supposed to be happening in Africa in this era. This should have been something that was taken care of a long time ago. Not for us to be sitting here talking about the same thing. Yet this is not something that the leaders in Africa are looking at. We are always chasing after things that do not have benefit for us, that will not set us free, that wouldn't make us self-independent. Africa cannot continue to be dependent on other people for their problems to be solved. Yet we are calling ourselves independent continent. We are not. If we can't move freely among ourselves, take a direct flight from here to the other place, then it means the African still have a long way to go, which we need to start working against it. This is a true call, and we need to work to link all these countries together. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa and in Mozambique.